Hello, welcome to the Luv Experiment, and this is day 12. Blessings. How you feeling? How you doing? I started not to record a video tonight. It's 12:12. I just looked at the clock. It's 12:12, but I'm recording this because I felt the need to share this. I'm from Philadelphia. A lot of my family is still back in Philadelphia, and I have a grandmother there. It was well into her 80s. And I shouldn't be telling my grandma business like that. Anyway, grandma just got off the phone with me. It's 12:12 my time. We just got on the phone at it was close to 11. I said, Grandma, what are you still doing up? She said, I'm about to go to bed. I just had to call you and make sure you got the letter and da-da-da-da. And I hadn't checked my mail yet, so, I told her I would check it tomorrow. But I have to speak on this because it's so beautiful how God works, how Source, Creator, Spirit works. My grandmother, just to give you some background, when I say she's a prayerful woman, when I say she is very Christian, very, very Christian, and our beliefs, they're not the same, but essentially they are. There are nuances that maybe we don't agree on, but we both agree on God and agree on love being the medicine, right? And a day before, I was helping a friend of mine move, and she has a deck. And I said, go ahead, girl, just sit down and pull a card, right? Because I just wanted to get things done, and. So she pulled a card for her, and then she said, well, I pulled a card for you, too. So, okay. Maybe it wasn't a day before, but it was within 2-3 days. And she said, oh, this is about sitting back and drinking in the knowledge, listening to the wisdom of others and taking in their stories. Oh, that's interesting. The last post that I did when I was at the beach, I talked about sitting with those women and listening to their stories and, how I was so inspired, right? But just being in the space and that being the medicine. My grandmother tonight ministered to my soul. And some of the things that she said, she started off talking about how, we all make mistakes and it's not about the mistakes. She was talking about, God, going to God. And she said, we all get to some point in our lives like, what was I thinking? What was I doing? What was I thinking? And we just laughed. And I said, oh, really? Because I really wanted to know with Grandma, because you could tell me some stories. I want to hear about those stories with you. And she wouldn't get particular, right? She wouldn't give me all the details. She said, but I went through life, she said, and I was doing my thing. She said I was raised in the church, but after a while we grow up and we get out of the church. And she said we just go our own way. And, it could be rough out there. And then she started talking about different things. And she said, but eventually, you find your way back. And she started to talk about how then you get back to the church and you praying and you're speaking in tongues. This is my girl. Speaking in tongues and, all of this is happening. And you're seeing the way God moves in your life and da-da-da-da. And you're so in love with God and you're so, you're just so there. It's not her exact words, but this is the gist. And I just listened And she said, and then somewhere along the way, it changes. It's almost like you forget. And she started talking about how you lose that feeling. And then maybe something happens that brings you back to it. She said, or maybe, she started talking about how when time's good, she's, praying, she's happy, she's this, she's that. But when things get to going wrong, how is she? Right? Is she praying? Is she doing the same things? Is she still feeling the same way? And oh my God, there was so much juice in this conversation. I won't get into it all, but it was so interesting how even some of the references she made to the Bible, when she spoke of these things, I knew that her interpretation had a different bend and slant than mine's, but I wasn't so much concerned about what I thought. I just allowed myself to really be watered by her knowledge, by her spirit, by her wisdom, and it felt really good. It felt really good. Thank God for our elders. And one of the things that it made me think about was no matter what somebody else believes, if we both come to the table from a space of love, absolute love, not trying to be right or trying to be heard or anything like that, there's so much that can happen in that time. I can just really see divine, feel divine, be. You already are. We already all are, but experience that truth. And understand that there's wisdom in all the stories, and all the religions, and there's truth in it all. So if there's truth in it all, then why do I have to fight for my perspective? It's just one expression of this truth. And I felt no need to. Sometimes me and my grandmother, I absolutely adore her. And she is always trying to convert me. And I just love it. I love us being able to have these conversations, and me being able to, on the opposite end of that, understand love, understand her love, and understand all the things that are underlying that, but really just see her heart, and not take anything personal. And I think it's healthy for us to have experiences with people that have different perspectives and opinions all the time, and be able to have discussions, and be able to, because every time I'm in any exchange with anyone, there's always an opportunity for me to stretch and grow, and for me to see past my limited perception of things. That's the opportunity we all have, in conversing with another, and expressing with another, with one another, with another. Well, whatever. That just filled me up. She mentioned, it's just, I was thinking about getting back into fasting, and I was thinking about it, and every time it would get to that okay, this is the day I said I was going to fast, then it'd be like, no, I don't want to do it. I noticed there was so much resistance around it. And I also noticed that underlying that, there were some things coming up around lack and around, just all past lives, just all kinds of stuff. But it helped me to understand that. And then my grandmother starts talking about this praying and fasting. Praying and fasting, praying and fasting. She says sometimes you just get into that place where you just gotta pray and fast. She talked about warfare and, being able to love God and having that down pat. But she talked about, when it came to warfare, not knowing the enemy, and her, once again, her idea of that, as she spoke, it probably was very different than mine. When I think about the warfare, I think about the warfare within me, the way I battle myself, and how that comes out of me, and how that expresses in my relationships, right? And so a part of this fasting that it's already done. I'm like, okay, I'm fasting. It's done. I got this message. Is about the beliefs. It's about the beliefs. Gaining control, right, over what we're creating here. The stories that keep on coming up and replaying here. How we make ourselves our own worst enemies. There is no enemy. There's the enemy that you make. There's the enemy that we make. Clearly, I'm in this place of absolute gratitude and I'm so blown away. My grandma also said, one of the things that we came here for, this is what she said. She said, we came here to love, but we also came here to learn how to receive love. And I say, if I am receiving it and I'm giving it, all of my action comes from the place of what? Being. So maybe the overwhelming message to life, to us, remember love. Remember who you are. Remember love. You are love. And we've constructed a lot of things that tell us differently, that create more and more separation. But that's not the name of the game. Oh, there were so many nuggets. I feel like I need to do some journaling. My grandma she poured into my spirit, and I just was, oh, wait, I wasn't. Be humble. There's a time to speak and there's a time to listen. I'm learning how to listen. And how to see the divine and how to accept it. That's love. Ugh. I'm so grateful, y'all. Blessings to you. Wherever you are, whoever you are. Thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful everything. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Take care.